Welcome to the Bougie Black Brother Network. Good afternoon and welcome to Fade to Black Cinema. I'm Michael, your Bougie Black Brother, and I'm here with my co-host, Alicia.
Hello.
And we just finished seeing one of the new releases.
Can I say it?
Go ahead, you can say it.
Tag! Oh my God, Tag!
So we went
You're
to
in
see.
Tag!
We went to see a version of Tag that happens to be
A true story.
A true story, which was the most interesting for me because I was like, are you fucking kidding me? But we saw the previews and it really looked like it was going to be funny and really, really entertaining. And so here's the quick synopsis. You know me. I always got to say that. 1 month every year, 5 highly competitive friends hit the ground running for a no-holds-barred game of tag, risking their necks, their jobs, and their relationships to take on one and another down. This time, the game coincides with the wedding of the only undefeated player. What should be an easy target soon becomes an all-out war as he knows they're coming to get him. So that was pretty wild. And that concept, what we found when we saw a couple of things where there was like almost 10 or 11 of them all together, right? In real life, right?
Yes, it was, yes. But the movie was what, about 4 or 5?
Yeah, about 4 or 5.
With the wives.
Yep.
And the ex-girlfriend.
and a reporter.
Yep, and a reporter. Yeah.
So the thing with the reporter was, it was a true reporter that reported it. What was that, from the New York Times, I think?
Yeah, it was the New York Times.
So it was the New York Times. So this is another thing that made it interesting. So they had Jeremy Renner, which plays Hawkeye on, what is that movie? Avengers.
Yeah, yep, Avengers.
So he plays on the Avengers. One of the funny comedians from Saturday Night Live, Ed Helms, which he's funny as hell. He shows up on a lot of things. I think he was on Horrible Bosses, which was like one of my favorite. And then John Hamm, which is like really, really, he's just a great actor.
I love John Hamm.
He's just cool as fuck.
I know.
Sadly, and I want to introduce this early so I don't have to mention again, they put in Hannibal Buress. I don't like that guy. I don't think he's funny. There's nothing about him that's funny. I think his low-key way of just saying jokes isn't funny. And overall, he shows up and it's I'm like, why do you have him there? They should have had the other guy. There's another black guy. His name is Laurel Howery, who played only a short part in the beginning of the movie. Now, that guy's funny. His whole demeanor and his delivery is really, really funny. And they happen to be black people. So, and for the record also, the 11 true people, they were all white. They added a black guy to it.
Yeah, they did.
So, hey, I guess to bring the black people to the movies. but I just don't think he's funny. Did you think he was valuable, or did he bring anything to the group, baby?
No.
Just wanted to be sure.
There was slight hesitation.
Yeah.
But not enough to really think about it. No.
Okay.
I mean, they could have added another white person and it still would be good. I'm sorry.
So they would have, it would have been all 5 white people and it would have been fine.
Sure
because it wasn't, he was just obviously black, but they didn't mention that he was black, but it was, I don't know. Anyway. So the other standout in there, and I'm not sure if you noticed it, baby, but all of the music was all hip hop music.
Yeah, it sure was.
They had
us dancing in the damn
scene. They had, I think it was Ice-T. Mm-hmm. They had what was it? KRS-One. They just had a lot of hip hop music that I was like, whoa, you hear that? Yup. So that was pretty cool. I'm not sure if it was relatable, but that was cool to hear the background. So anyway, so it starts off with one of the guys actually trying to get hired to be a janitor.
Yeah.
Great concept. Great. That writing into that was
he said,
so good.
He's like, what? Well, you're a doctor. Why would you want to be a janitor? You are currently working. That was funny as hell.
Yeah, and so he was interviewed by the black dude, the one that I said should have been all throughout the movie,
Oh my God.
Laurel Holloway. But and he was like, whatever. But we find out he wanted to just get hired so he can tag his friend, which was John Hamm.
While he was being interviewed.
While he was being interviewed by the New York Times for the company that he owns.
Yes,
and he's the CEO of that. So throughout the movie, I'll just jump into that. She got money and he's just throwing money around. Hey, I'll give you $2,000 if you give me $1,000. Oh, $1,500. Oh, okay, here's $2,000. Here's the extra.
He's like,
he said, do you carry around
money like that?
Anyway, right? So anyway, but so it starts with that, and they come to find out the one guy, Jerry, who is Jeremy Renner or Reiner, whichever way you want to pronounce it, he was getting married, and so they was like, he's the one who's never been tagged, so this is our opportunity to get him. Little did they know that this guy already had everything prepared for their ass. So it made it really, really interesting.
Oh my God, I'm crying over here because when we was in the movie, I was just laughing so hard.
So
Michael was looking at me like I was damn crazy.
So I'll give you a picture of it. So there's probably, give or take, 15 people in the theater of 300, and scenes was showing up, and Alicia was screaming, laughing the loudest in the theater. And so she laughed so hard, I can hear people in the background laughing at her by how hard she was laughing. And they was like, oh, did you hear her? Oh, and they were laughing at her.
Oh, it's so funny.
But she, so tell me why you enjoyed it so much.
Because he was whipping their asses. He had tied the towel around his face. I was like, oh my God. I'm sorry.
There was portions in there, and the thing with Jeremy Renner, or the guy Jerry, we'll just call them by their movie name. So Jerry was the one who's never been tagged.
He has never been tagged, he was kicking ass.
So he had his own business.
Right, he had a workout center, a gym,
a center and everything.
Fitness center, yeah.
And he knew everybody in the town, and everybody knowed him. But if you didn't know, they used like a concept that I remember from Sherlock Holmes. So when Sherlock Holmes see a situation and he sees it in his mind, and he said he's gonna come this way, boom, I'll hit him in his neck, and so all it is he's talking about as they're coming toward him, and he does it, and it's kind of like these guys are talking in their mind. Oh, I'm gonna get him, and then he sidesteps them and does all types of.
I like what about the one in the gym when they were in the mall?
That Ed Helms or Hoagie, he dresses up as an old lady, but he realizes, hey, old lady, no, not wearing a size 11 shoe and blah, blah, blah. So he knew it was him, and he was beating him up with a damn pocketbook, and then the guards show up.
No, not with just the pocketbook, with the woman, the
walker.
Yeah, the walker.
Well, at the end, he beat him up with the walker.
Yeah.
But he was beating the shit out of him with
the pocketbook.
And then when the guards show up, they was like, hey, Jerry, is this old lady bothering you? But he's holding the old lady down, which is his boy, with the walker. The old lady can't even get up. But they asking him, is the old lady bothering him? And I was like, wow, this is just crazy. So you was entertained by the way he was just beating their ass.
It was just, like you said, the Sherlock Holmes bit, how they did it. Mm-hmm. It was so, I couldn't stop laughing. It was just, it was so funny.
I like the boy Randy or Chili, the dope smoking guy.
Yeah,
he was funny.
An idiot.
He was really cool, and then
Smoking with his
Ed
dad. He was smoking weed with his
with
damn
his
dad.
in the
Oh my
house, and they
God.
was like, "Yeah, my wife died," and she's like, "Well,
Your wife died.
she didn't die. Well, she's dead to me, But and Ed Helms' wife, she was cool as hell. I think it was Anna.
Yeah, Anna Molly.
Yeah.
Her name is Isla Fisher.
Yeah.
She was cool as hell.
Yeah, she was cool.
She was like so
she was
supportive.
a good stand-up. She was so supportive, but she was
"God, get
she was
him!"
like, she is so intense, dude. You need to calm your wife down and everything from that. But so he was cool. John Hamm was just John Hamm plays just the handsome, smart, but he was an asshole too. But he played the game with all of them, so he was still cool about everything. So
and Rashad Jones, what's her name? Rahada Jones. That's Quincy Jones.
Rashida Jones.
Yeah, Rashida Jones. That's Quincy Jones' daughter. She was good in there too.
Yeah, she showed up. She showed up well in there. She did, and I kind of enjoyed that. The other guy that kind of made me laugh in there was the guy who played Dave, or Thomas Middleditch, who played on what's that show that we like, Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
So he showed up at a small portion, but
with his little that fake little ponytail, that was so funny.
I know,
He's like, he's moving
and
it.
all he was talking about is like balls and gay stuff and blowjobs, and they was like, "Why you keep? What is that all about?" And he just kept going along with it, but he showed up pretty well on that. But overall, it was just the fun of getting to the one main guy who was never touched, and he actually recruited his wife so he could stay undefeated, and almost like the whole town was in on it because he knew they would show up because they thought that he was going to retire the next year, but come to find out at the end, spoiler alert,
yes,
that Hoagie had
cancer
on his liver or something like that. So he may not be able to survive the next year. So he tried to play it off that Jerry, so we have to get Jerry before that. But that's what it was. And it was the concept all the way through was how they reminisced on being friends and they showed a good friendship throughout all of that. And it come to find out that it wasn't about Jerry not being tagged. They wanted Jerry to understand it was just about being together.
Yes, it was.
He kept it as a competition.
So the way it really worked, because this is how they did it in real life. Once a year, 1 month out of the year, they only allowed to play tag.
Yeah, it's just
That's
that 1 month.
That 1 month out of the year.
And there's no retags.
Yes.
So if you tag that one and you can't tag them back, so you have to be able to find the next guy, or so on and so on and so on. Which was, I thought that was interesting. I think the biggest concept is they were friends.
Yes.
So they did it as friends. They didn't do it as let's keep adding people in there.
They just wanted to keep in contact with each other, because I could totally understand why they did it, because over time, life changes. You drift away,
different things,
and you don't see each other no more.
Yeah.
And so this was a great way for them to stay connected.
And committed to each other. And so I thought that was really, really good.
I thought that was nice too. That to me really was really, really nice, because it's so true. There's so many people that we want to keep in contact with.
But there's nothing that intensely how would you say connected that will connect us. It was, we was in the military, or we was in Germany, or we was in Virginia, but there's not that really connecting thing that if you stayed in a small town, that usually happens when you're in a small town. But us growing in New York, we have friends, or we have people we know, and the people we know we dealt with.
Right.
So it's not really friendships, but we have small relationships.
Exactly.
But that's a lot of that online stuff. That's not really how they can touch each other. So tag is the way you touch each other. So it's almost like a metaphor of how do you reach out and touch people that you care about, and they use tag to actually do that. So it's almost like a whatever. But So, overall, what did you think?
I loved it. I hadn't got a good laugh in a movie in a long time.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah, so I gave it a 9
Wow, you gave it a 9.
because I loved it because it
Yeah,
made me
well,
laugh.
I
it
can
make me-
honestly say, yes, you did love it.
I love it because
I haven't heard you laugh that loud. I heard you laugh, but not that loud.
yeah, it was more than one.
So I like Game Night more than this. But so you gave it a 9. I didn't like it that much. I really didn't. I think it was a lot of cliche shit in there that I've seen before. So it didn't. I kind of giggled. I didn't laugh because it was cliche shit of what you normally would do. Even at the end when it was like, oh, it's because I was dying. And that's so cliche. But even do that. And then Hanna-Barbera, I'm sorry to keep bringing him up, but he was a black face that wasn't necessary. And if they say, well, these movies, there's no black people. This black guy didn't need to be on there. This is one movie that I would say, no, you don't need a black face in this one because he didn't bring anything to that. He had a couple lines that was like, okay. But that's who he is as a comedian. I don't like that guy. I don't think he's funny to me. But people think he's funny.
Well, he wasn't funny. He really wasn't.
But people think he's funny, though.
Right. But again, the other parts that they were doing was making laugh. That made me laugh the most.
But
because they actually didn't beat up.
John Hamm had funny portions.
Right, but they didn't even beat up he didn't really beat up the black guy.
No, he pulled his drawers down. Remember?
Yeah, but that's about it.
Yeah.
It's showing leopard drawers up against his ass.
But he has psychological issues anyway.
Yeah, and that's
remember
another
they broke
thing.
into the.
He really didn't. Well, like I said, it was good. It made me laugh so hard that I
kind of ignored that.
Yes, exactly.
I got you
because he was like
it didn't
invisible.
make me laugh enough, so I looked at shit like that.
Okay,
because sometimes when you see a movie and it's so funny that you ignore certain things that was kind of like I'll go back to Game Night with the black couple that was in there. I kind of ignored that because I enjoyed all the other stuff that was in there.
Right, because they didn't really.
Yeah, that wasn't really. But I ignored it because I enjoyed the rest of the movie.
Right.
But this, it was shit that I seen, and it was. I liked the concept because it was a true story, but they kind of over exaggerated certain things. But even at the end, I think they were more creative in real life because they showed up behind cars. They were dressed up as different things.
I know.
They were mascots at a game to tag the people. They did a whole lot of really creative things.
You talking about the original tag.
The real people.
Yeah.
I think what they showed with that, I thought, was a lot interesting than just this last portion. I think if they would have shown some things to lead up to it, the way they did some outrageous stuff, I think that would have made you feel good about it. But this was just like the last thing, and then it was about how well they act or, things from that. So I say I'll give it a 6.75 because I don't know if I want to see it again. I really don't think I would see it again. I think I would see portions of it.
Well, that's how how that is. You see it come on TNT or TBS or whatever you would say, and then you like, right in the middle of it. Okay, I'll watch it. But you know what?
But I didn't like it enough.
I think that they would have been better if they had done somewhat like a documentary on the original taggers.
So
that would have been
good way of saying that. If they would have done it like, what's the one, the skater. Tanya Harding.
Yes.
If they did it something like that, I think that would have been outstanding.
Right.
Because you would have seen the true thing as they led into it and build into it and then go from that. They tried to make it an action comedy, which I've seen it before.
Well, but it wasn't a true story. A lot of them are, then you do the comedies, it wasn't really true stories.
No, I got that.
I think that they should have, it still would have been. I think it would have been even better if they used the original characters and some of the things.
No. I don't think so.
Well, at least show the what they did show the part that they dressed as a woman.
Mm-hmm.
But
so he really did that. He really dressed as an old woman,
right?
And he was running across the street at his boy.
Right. I think that they should. Some of the stuff I think they may have created.
No, I get that.
But
And
I don't know if they
sometimes
did they actually did the wedding thing? Was that real?
I don't know.
See, that's what I mean. It would have been nice if they showed the real things they have done in tag.
That's what I mean.
Amongst each other.
So that's what I mean. Even with the actors, they could have shown a little bit of that before they got to the wedding. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If they shown that before they got to the wedding, I think I would have been like, cool. It's really showing what these guys done together. It was, I showed all the four to get together. Then they went after the one guy. That was it. I got you. And then as they showed it, they just showed some different things. The stupid guy that was high. I just thought he was funny. I think he was funny to me. But I think he was the funniest guy.
Yeah, and was that a real character amongst them?
See, I don't know.
See,
so all of these things you don't know.
Right.
And it could be, but they just did. I don't think it was as good. I know you enjoyed it, so I'm not going to take that away from you.
Well, because
you said a 9.
Yeah,
Jesus
because
Christ.
it made me laugh so hard. I don't, like I said, but I don't get to. There's not too many movies that make me laugh the way that one made me did, and that's the only reason why I gave it to him.
That's true.
And that's why I gave it that, because I laughed so hard I couldn't stop laughing, and I was like, "This is funny as hell."
I got you.
And so, but if it was like any other time, I was like, okay, no, am I excited? But I just was laughing too hard for me not to give it a rating like that.
And you know what? I totally get that. I get that because of your reaction, not for you saying it was funny. I was next to you saying, God damn, what the fuck you laughing at? Okay, it's funny, but Jesus. God damn, is that funny?
Yes, it was.
But I couldn't. It's not fair for me to say it wasn't that funny, because your funny and my funny doesn't necessarily have to be true.
Yes.
Now, again, I like clever stuff. I like more clever than slapstick stuff. If it's slapstick on clever, I like that. But I like the clever lines. When there's clever lines, I love it. Like Deadpool had so many clever lines in there. It was so funny to me because there was the way he did it, and then it was a superhero movie. That was just so funny to me. This is like a typical This is like Horrible Bosses. The characters was fantastic on there. They were great on there, and what was going on was crazy as hell.
Right.
The first Hangovers, the first two, was outstanding. The character was crazy. The shit that they did was so freaking funny. Then it got outrageous. And then the last one, Game Night, I really liked how they did that because they had some of the characters on there that I really liked too. But overall, this was okay. And the only reason I really wanted to see it because it was based on a true story.
Right.
And then when I was seeing the real stuff they did, that made me laugh because I was like, could you imagine if you was playing a game and you know this is the month, you got to look out for these people, and they only showed the times that they tagged them, not the times that they almost tagged them and they got away. So could you imagine that? So that's the part that I really thought they would do, that they kind of got away and it's like, oh, we got to find him. I just missed him. And then you would be like, wow, this is crazy. These guys really do this throughout the month.
Yeah, but I thought it was a very clever.
Entertaining.
Yeah, it was not only entertaining, but the fact that it was a way for them to connect.
Yeah. And
I thought that, because I never thought about it that way until they said, why they did it.
But think about this too. And this is, I think, the strongest portion of that is when you're in a smaller town, it's a lot easier for people to stay together because your family's still in the town. You have your relationships in the town. Even if you go away, there's the relationships that you keep. You in a big city, you don't really hold those kind of relationships unless those relationships transcended into maybe college or work, or you stayed in the city. You know what I'm saying? But in this case, it was kind of easier for them to do it. But I just like the fact that they did a game that didn't stop.
Yes.
And they had a book with rules that they made that went on and on and on and on. And it was
oh, so funny.
And the woman from the New York Times was like, oh no, this is the story that I want.
Yep, I remember her saying, she's like, "Oh, you want? No, I'm gonna
No,
follow
I
you.
want this. I
Yeah.
want this story.
Yes.
And it was. I would want it too.
I would
You got
too.
the CEO of this company. This guy is a doctor, and y'all been playing tag for what, 30 years?
Yep.
No.
Yeah.
This is the story that I
Yeah,
want.
this is damn. I was like, oh hell, nobody ever done this like that.
Yeah, and for her to capture that was just so freaking interesting. So, 6.75, and Leisha has it at a 9. And again, I totally respect her 9 because if you was in the theater, you would say this must have been the funniest movie ever made. Ever made. Okay, so that's the way that was.
I'm still laughing though. I'm still laughing.
You know what? I really enjoyed that you enjoyed it. I like when you like movies because it, you say you like movies, but I can tell you don't really like it that much. I know when you talk about a movie, you like it. If you say, yeah, it was pretty good, I give it a 7. No, you didn't like the movie. Movies that you like, you rate high as fuck. Movies that you really is okay with, you rate mediocre. So you have a meter that's high and low. And in between, just to say, and I don't want to talk about it, give me this rate and I can move on. So I know you enjoyed this one. So I kind of enjoyed how you enjoyed it. But anywho, anything else, Booby?
No. If you just want to laugh, and just things I just laugh about, you should go see the movie if you just like to laugh.
So this is what you would recommend, though.
Yes, if you kind of like Michael has a very sensitive part when it comes to laughing. It has to have some meaning to his, how would you say? It's a more smarter humor.
It's a smarter
sense
clever,
of humor.
kind of witty type humor.
Yeah, and
I enjoy that.
Don't get me wrong. There was some movies that I like, Dumber and Dumber. Mr. Michael and the kids loved it
for a while.
And
so
when you first seen it, when you first seen it,
but
your first seen it, you loved it.
One of my favorites is Talladega Nights.
Yeah, Talladega Nights,
which is the most outrageous movie that you can actually. That's kind of slapstick, but he's just crazy. So I just love that. So some of them doesn't have to be as clever. You just got to do it well.
Right, that's true.
And when you do it well, you respect that. You kind of go be like, wow, how in the hell that, what's the name? Who's the dude on there? Because we love everything that he does anyway.
I had his name. Damn it. Oh, I had his name. Oh, I forgot.
Yeah, you forgot.
Yeah. No, but another one is
Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell and Raising Arizona.
Oh my God!
Remember that's a
classic. Though.
Okay, then you got Blazing Saddles.
That's a classic.
But
I'm talking about more modern.
Well,
type.
yeah, because
I'm not talking about those.
Yeah, because I tell you right now, every time I see I was like, hey babe, Blazing Saddles. You said, hey,
gotta sit down and look at it.
He said, hey babe, you missed for the first part of it. I'm like, shit.
Or Raising Arizona.
Raising Arizona. That's
Young Frankenstein.
Yes.
There's just a bunch of them. That's Fridays. The fucking love Fridays.
And what's the other one? The one that you like with the British humor.
Oh my God. Yeah. The Holy Grail.
The Holy Grail.
And the Life of Brian.
Yes.
So
there's comedy that is true classic, and we will watch it over and over and over again. Even I would. Just the fact that it was a true classic. But when you talk about the current comedies right now, it's hit or miss with them.
Exactly.
It's hit or miss.
And that's where my point is. If it looks like something else, then it's kind of like it's not that good. But I think they ruined the concept on this. And this is where I was disappointed. They ruined the concept of what I thought it would be. They could have kept it almost the same way, but they should have really showed how these guys got up to that. Other than the first part when they was kids and running after each other. Mm-hmm. That was the only part. And then they jumped right into being adults. They didn't show that these guys left town and did other jobs. Yeah. And then they went to the next town. They only showed that one was in Spokane, Washington. Another one was in, was it Oregon or whatever?
Yeah.
But they didn't show that they were playing tag over the years and going to their town just to tag them and going from that. They didn't show that. So that was disappointing. You saw that before they went after the one guy. But Yeah, it is what it is. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So
Yep.
I liked it, but not high on my comedic list. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if it comes on and I'm in the room with Leisha, I'll sit there just to hear her laugh. I'm not there to see the movie. I'm just here to see certain parts, and she's just busting out laughing. So I enjoy her laughter as opposed to how funny this is.
Yeah, it was funny. I can't help it. It was definitely funny. So, again, babe, nothing else I need to say.
Okay, Fade to Black Cinema. Catch us every Wednesday. Every Wednesday we have our reviews on movies and TV shows. I'm about to do La Casa de Papel. So there's a lot of people that keep asking me, when am I going to do that one? When am I going to do that one? I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. So I'm going to put that one out there. So there's a lot of people that want us to do a lot of the TV series, series as in Netflix series, not TV wise.
Okay, we have to get started on it then.
So other than that, yeah, catch us on Twitter as well as Instagram, Bougie Black Bro. Go to bougieblackbrother.com and check it out. Google has a new podcast app. So if you're a Google fan or Android fan, hey, grab Google Podcasts and you can check us on there. But every other podcast download, you can catch us on there. So it's going to be under Fade to Black Cinema. Old podcast is under Urban Lifestyle Cafe. So don't get it confused. They are the same thing. So you'll be able to see them. So other than that, we'll see you next Wednesday. Next Wednesday on Fade to Black Cinema.
Jurassic Park.
Coming up. Later.